Good afternoon and a very warm welcome from Hillhead's Ice Rink Whitley Bay as the Newcastle Predators are taking on the Newcastle Coyotes in a Northern Cup fixture. I'm Adam Matman and joining me in the commentary box is Michelle Story. Michelle, how are you on this fine early afternoon for yourself?
A little bit tired, to say the least. I'm not used to 12 o'clock starts.
It's a little bit of an early one, but that is the thing with rec hockey. Now, it's a Northern Rec Cup game. There's 6 teams in the competition. And the Coyotes are sitting quite well at the top. They've only lost once this season, but they did beat the reigning champions, the Grimsby Ice Bears, last week in what was a fiery encounter. So they're going to probably have the edge in this fixture, do you think?
Very probably have the edge over the Predators. They're not the best of the teams that come out with the bay, but they do have a good edge to them. But they definitely have the lower edge today.
Yeah, and there's a couple of players we will be familiar with on the Predators team. For one thing, one of your managers, Ian Russell, number 11.
Yes, I've worked with Ian for a good few years now. He's probably not looking forward to me standing on the microphone talking about him. If he knew I was here, he probably would have run out the building by now.
It will certainly make for an interesting angle. And there's also Peter Tomek, who used to play for the Warriors back in 2008-2009, a Slovakian player. So that's going to add a little bit of thrill to it as the puck's dropped here. And it's going to be the Coyotes who get there first. Number 77, Chris Graham, will blast it around the boards. It comes all the way round Bone. Mark Bone just trying to keep it in there, tips it through. Coyotes just trying to get it out of their zone here, but forced back in by Stu Davies, the player coach, number 17. Coyotes were in action yesterday. They narrowly lost 7-4 to the champion Grimsby team. Same team that the Predators beat here at Whitley Bay last week. As both teams go for an early line change. 30 seconds gone in this encounter so far. And the long stretch pass comes all the way down. That's going to go behind the Predators' goal. Mark Bone leaves it for one of his teammates, one of the forwards, just passing it along. Nice little pass there by Peter Tomek, his first action. Sorry, no, it wasn't Peter Tomek, actually. It was number 70. Not quite sure who that was, to be honest. Anthony Charters, I should say. Predators just coming along now with Mark Bone along the boards. He flicks it along. It's pulled back now. Winter, he's going to come back as the Predators go for another line change. They're moving about quite quickly. That's the second early change. Building from the back again. Adam Winter this time with the pass. As the centre comes in, but just helped along by the goalie, number 33, Kevin Foster, for the Coyotes. Comes all the way back down the Predators' end of the rink. And Carl Wood will get there first. Played along to number 80, Ronald Pierce, an American-born player, hails from St. Louis. As Predators are just happy to sit back here, letting the Coyotes pass it around for now. Predators have it back now though, playing out from the D. Looking for the diagonal pass here on the wing. Comes back off the board, so Coyotes will come back with it. Parry just unable to control for the Coyotes as it's helped back along. Coyotes still have it now at centre ice. Parry's now got it on this left wing. Big hit there by Kurt Elgie. Elgie coming through now. Tried to find his coach Stu Davies, but it was intercepted well by Chris Graham of the Coyotes. There's a long period of play here. Elgie will go again. Finds Davies on this right wing. Tries to test the goalie. Makes the glove save, just pops it along. Mark Bone now just trying to steal in there, but they got the break on here, Parry, but Winter did well. Bone's defensive partner, he comes in and intercepts it, plays it along to Davies. Davies will try to find Winter, and Bone will have to pinch in to try and help out his team. LG will come back though for the Predators. Keeps possession of it well. He was going to go end to end here, carries it in, lines up a huge slap shot, comes back off the boards. It's about a foot wide of that net. Just trying to test the goalie from range there. As it's dumped back in for Stu Pendleton of the Coyotes, number 7. He goes for the long stretch pass, but it will come to Mark Bone of the Predators. He will get the return pass back. Goes up the line along the right-hand boards. But Peter Tomek just eased off it there. This is his first action for the Coyotes. Last time I've seen him would have been around, 8 years ago, Michelle, when he was last played for the Warriors?
Yeah, before he'd left the country.
Yeah, I wasn't aware either that he was still here. We do finally have a stoppage in play. As a late hit there, that was Peter Tomek, actually, just slamming one of the Coyotes into the boards. But yeah, he came in, he played for the Warriors for about half a season, didn't he, before getting released. I'm not quite sure why, but just sort of disappeared out of hockey for a while. But it's good to see him back here on the Whitley ice. But it's been all Predators so far, hasn't it, Michelle?
It has. It's definitely not been a tennis game type of hockey match. It's all been one end, one wheel, all time at the moment.
Certainly is, as the Predators are looking to get a break on here now. They're going to cut inside, goes for a centre pass, and that's the first goal. That's number 65, Jake Shanks. And it was a great pass there by Anthony Charters on the right wing. He just tapped it in, really, didn't he?
It was a wonderful pass. It was too easy pass to keep there, though. He should have made a bigger effort with that one.
Yeah, he'll want that one back for sure. But just over 4 minutes gone, and we have the first goal of the game. The puck's dropped again. It's going to be the Coyotes who come out with it initially. Predators have got it back now, though. As Ronald Pierce, the American, number 80, is on this right wing on this line. And your friend Michelle-Ian Russell's on this line as well on the left wing. So we'll keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, he's on the floor at the minute.
As Coyotes have got the puck now. They're trying to get the counter-attack, but Predators did ever so well. They're just winning it back as they go for number 2, Ronald Pierce. Oh, just unable to set Brumby up on that occasion. Puck just flashed wide of the post, and they'll come again. Dumped back in. Predators just happy to keep the puck in the Coyotes zone at the moment. It's puck pulled back in. Russell just trying to get something on it, but inadvertently flicks it away. Predators are going to look to build from their own blue line here. Going to go for the long diagonal pass. Comes off a Coyotes player on the way through. It's flicked back out, or attempted clearance, but the Predators keep it in. Now the Coyotes are going to go again, and this time they're looking to get the counter-attack on. Reese this time slammed into the boards by Bone. Reese is somebody who is registered for both teams, so he has played for the Predators this season and is a qualified referee, so they'll know each other well. But at first goal, that's on the balance of play. That's probably what the Predators deserve, Michelle, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, it looked like the second one was going in straight afterwards, which also would have been deserved. It's all been one-way traffic so far.
Yeah, and it has to be said, of course, that they've got a much bigger bench, the Predators, and the Coyotes have only got 4 skaters and a backup goalie, so that might tell a bit later on. And, of course, the Coyotes had a game yesterday, so they might tire a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that definitely shows on them today. They look every inch the team that was playing yesterday against a fresh team. LG just with a shot from distance. Comes back round the boards. Hodgkiss will just help it along. Stu Davies, the captain, he's looking to pull it back in that sort of position that Wayne Gretzky and David Longstaff look so much behind the goal, just looking to pull the puck back. As a loose puck there, they're going to try and pounce on it here. Winter pinching in from the blue line. Good pad save in the end. Bone from distance, he winds one up, comes off the goalie's stick. Davies will get it on the left wing, pulls it back to the point, fired back in, but the Coyotes are going to come out with it. They'll go for the pass. Johnson at centre ice. Reese was expecting a hit from Bone, and it's Bone who goes flying in the end. Winter now behind his own net for the Predators, finds his defensive partner Mark Bone, former Whitley Warriors junior. And it's cut out by the Coyotes number 22, Ryan Patterson, that time. Now the Coyotes have it on their own blue line. They're just trying to clear it out the zone now. Got to centre ice. Parry's open on this left wing if his teammate can find him, but he loses possession of it, and it's going to be Charters who comes in with a shot. Good save by the goalie, but it hit him square in the chest. Now number 21 for the Predators, Michael Ord, no relation to Terry or Daniel. Pulls it back. Number 90, Peter Tomek out there again, former Whitley Warrior. Now Parry for the Coyotes, looking to counter. He'll just flick it with the outside of his stick. Patterson trying to keep Winter under a bit of pressure.
It's helped along, but they're getting outnumbered here. Shot from distance. Oh, and it just got caught up under the skates by one of the Coyotes players. Number 71. That's Parry. Justin Parry, unable to get a clean connection on it, but that's the closest they've come to scoring, Michelle, isn't it, so far?
It is. They're looking a lot more weak now. I think the second attempt that the Predators had on them to open them up a bit, they've decided that they're in the game. It's very similar to what we see when we do the Warriors games, when they come to life after 10, 15 minutes after an away game the night before.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a fair comment as well. It does take a little bit longer because the Predators have been, have had all week off since beating the champion Grimsby team last week. Very impressive result for the Predators, which keeps them joint top of the league with Grimsby right now as it stands, so very good for them. As they're coming again on the counter-attack. Number 65, Jake Shanks, fires it in off the boards, comes back round. Can't quite see who got that connection there. Comes back to the point. It'll be left though. Now Shanks again helps it along. Peter Tomek, Slovakian player, pulls it back. Brumby just was late coming in onto that pass, trying to pinch in, unable to get the connection, but that probably would have been goal number 2 if he'd connected with it, as both teams go for line change. Not the cleanest of line changes either, but it's fallen nicely. And Ronald Pierce, the American, Missouri-born player, he finds Ian Russell, easily recognisable with the red helmet. Russell going to close in on Pendleton, comes back round, tries to cut it back, but Coyotes have just parked the bus in front of the goalie there. Parry looking to get the counter on, fires just over the top of the goalie. Should say the goalie actually is Brent Hope, Canadian-born player, so quite an international flavour to this Predators team, isn't it? A Canadian, American and a Slovakian on the team.
There is. It amazes me how many imported players are actually at the recreational levels.
There's more imports than the Warriors have got.
That doesn't take much.
No, that's true, it doesn't, does it? But yeah, it's an international flavour, and it's good to see. As Reese just unable to connect on that pass straight off the face-off. Mark Bone now will find Winter. Number 4, Adam Winter, going slowly at that wing, but nobody's stopping him right now. Ronald Pierce gets a good little poke check in there, looking to carry the puck in. Ian Russell gets a nice little 1-2 there with his centreman, Brumby. Brumby, a former Sunderland Chiefs player, came through their junior development system when they still had a rink. That was many moons ago now, of course, but good to see players like that still in the game. Bone and Winter forming a formidable partnership on this blue line right now. As Brumby's just looking for an option here, he finds Bone. Has to go for a second attempt, didn't take the pass cleanly enough first time, but he got away with it. Took it round his former teammate Reese. Pulled back, Kurt LG's back in the game now. Hodgkiss as well. Wafer. That's left. Hodgkiss will leave it there for Stu Davies, the captain. Sorry, not the captain, the coach of the team, I should say. Very important person for this team. Does a lot of hard work off the ice as well. Davies flicks it along. Hodgkiss helps it to LG. LG just looking for an option, but there's nobody there for him, so he's just having to keep the puck in the corner. In the end, he has to fire it off one of the Coyotes players. Comes back to the point. Goalie saw that late, but it just popped away, and he'll be happy to see that go to the corner and not into his net. Wafer now alongside Michael Ord on this second defensive pairing. LG, he will leave it as the Coyotes will just dump it in. Both teams will look for the line change. Fired along the boards. Number 65, Jake Shanks, who's carrying it up. It's dumped back in. Michael Ord again for the Predators. Finds one of his teammates out on the left wing. Number 70, Anthony Charters. In fact, I'm not convinced. I think Charters might be wearing number 65. I'm not quite sure who number 70 is right now, but That is what the team sheet said, so we'll go with that for now. As the Coyotes will dump it back in. Parry's got a chase on here with Winter. Winter should get there first, he does, but Parry certainly closed in well. Comes all the way back round to Shanks. He put under a bit of pressure, and it's Patterson who ends up with the puck for the Coyotes. His teammate forced a turnover, but he just couldn't collect the pass on the second go. Puck just wouldn't sit for him. Right now, it's still a little bit scrappy. Winter will get the puck now, trying to play it out, just calmly going coast to coast here. Is he going to go all the way? He's beat another man. He's going to fire. Oh, and he's gone in. What a goal. He went coast to coast on that one, didn't he?
He did very, very well with that one.
Wow, that was impressive. He must have beat, what, 5 men on that mazy run?
Yep, straight past all 5 of them, straight through the keeper. I think the keeper thought he had that looking at him. He never moved after it went in, so he definitely thought he covered it.
Well, I must admit, I thought he had it as well, but yeah, just must have crept under the pads. But excellent goal, though. That's certainly one for the video cameras to capture. Very good to see. In fact, that's a goal that would have graced any game, to be fair, wouldn't it?
It was a very good individual goal.
As puck's pulled back, Coyotes will look to try and counter here. As we've got a stoppage on there, I'm assuming for offside. Did you see that one?
No.
I'm assuming it was for offside. It's come out of the zone, so drumbeat for the Predators will go in for this face-off. And he just about wins it, but the loose puck just makes its way through to the Coyotes. Huge shot from distance, which forces Brent Hope to make the Hollywood save, but put some power behind that shot, didn't he?
Yeah, speaking of shots for the camera, that was a save for the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. Canadian-born goalie, as we said. Actually, Ronald Pierce, who's the American on the team, he's a qualified goalie as well, but his pads are still making their way across from America, so he has to dress as a forward until these pads arrive. But some good depth on the goaltending for the club anyway. Yeah,
I remember him when he first came down. We were still clearing up a Warriors game when he came in and asked for which rec team he wanted to sign for.
Oh, really?
And it just so happened he walked in, asked which rec team was on, said I want to sign for one. So the Predators, naturally, since it was their training session, went, come with us.
Well, it's a good way of recruiting players, and he's been a very useful addition to the team for sure. Whereas Wafer, the puck just comes back off Brumby, and him and Ronald Pierce just sort of get in each other's way there. Allows the Coyotes to gather, and Rennie just unable to stop it. Comes all the way, sorry, not Rennie, it's Michael Ord. It's got Rennie on the back of his jersey, but it's number 21 is actually Michael Ord. As the Coyotes looking to try and get a goal back here. Oh, and Brent Hope made the save, but he didn't know much about that. He went one way and the puck came off the other. Another shot from distance, another good save, just pushed away by Hope. Cleared up the lines, and that's the most amount of pressure the Coyotes have applied to Predators now, as LG winds up a huge shot, which ends up taking a deflection and loops over the top of the bar. Goalie ducked. Don't think he was sure where that was going, but it went over the top. And it came back round. Still with LG, he helps it along, but a Coyotes player just gets in the way of it. Forces the turnover. Now they're going to look to counter. Want to get with only two Predators players against the one Coyote, but he's done well. He's still got possession of the puck. He's pushing a few players over now as well. Still has it. He's going to keep it in the zone here. Winter again, fired in. That's a goal. They've got a goal back there. Patterson, number 22. Wow, we've got a game on our hands now, Michelle.
We have. Keeper wasn't happy about that one. Looking at a little bit of a tantrum he's thrown after it going in.
No, he won't be happy with it. But great response by the Coyotes, because they went 2 goals down and they've just come straight back, and they've been the better team for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they've really fought back over the last few minutes, and that goal was a fighting goal. They've fought every inch to keep that in the area and go for it.
Yeah, well, that's good to see. It keeps it close, keeps it entertaining for the viewers, as it's won there by the Predators. Up on the boards now, just dumped back in by the Coyotes. Well, Predators will come back with it though, with Mark Bone. He's just going to calmly skate it out. got the baggiest shorts I've ever seen on a hockey player as well. I don't know if you've noticed that, Michelle. But
I find him quite entertaining, that he comes in looking like a scruff to hockey games but looks immaculate as a referee.
Yes, that's right. Yes, indeed, he was refereeing the Coyotes game yesterday against Grimsby, so that was quite interesting. No major calls made, though, to be fair, but he had a good game as an official, certainly. Shanks just bounces the puck back off the boards. Both teams just trying to get a hold of it for now. Come all the way back round behind the goal for Predators, gone for the long stretch pass. Shanks unable to control it. Brumby will try and close in, but Pendleton of the Coyotes will get there first. Cleared from the blue line, just about, but Russell trying to force it back in there. He does carry the puck back into the zone. Brumby battling away as well against two Coyotes players, but still with the Predators behind the Coyotes goal right now. Hits are getting quite heavy now. There's a lot of challenges going in. There's a cross-checking going in there. Brumby was cross-checked from behind there by the Coyotes number 80. Was it 88? Kevin Binney. Referee missed that one, but that was a pretty blatant cross-check, wasn't it?
I'm surprised between Emerson and Davison that they missed that one. They're usually quite sharp on the calls. They're obviously just trying to let the game flow a little bit at the moment.
Yes, indeed. As Russell, straight from the face-off, goes for it. Ronald Pearce has scored, the American. And he was in the right place at the right time, just stabbed home the rebound. And a great response, having restored their 2-goal lead again.
It's one of the best positions it can always be in, just in front of the goal line. Just go for the tap in. Yeah,
the goalie does seem to give up a lot of rebounds, and he gambled on that well, and it paid off for him. So we have a 2-goal lead for the Predators once again. They lead 3-1. Parry now for the Coyotes. On the pass just pulled all the way back to come out of the zone. Pendleton puts in a pretty tame shove on Hodgkiss, but it's enough to make the big winger fall over. Just lose his footing. As the Coyotes wind up a huge slap shot there with Andy Graham. Parry unable to keep possession. Davies will try and counter. This is the player coach of the Predators. Davies doing well. I think he was trying to find Hodgkiss, but Hodgkiss moves out of position, pulls the puck back. Michael Lord trying to pinch in there. He'll have to come back as well, pulls it back, but Parry's waiting and he'll try and fire one in. Test Brent Pope, he gives up a rebound, but it's tidied up by one of his defensemen, and Hodgkiss will try and set proceedings away again. Davies unable to capitalise. There's 3 Coyotes players, one of them will get there first, and it's Johnson, number 66, who will get there. Coyotes in the middle of a line change right now. LG will just dump it back in. It'll come all the way back round. Chris Graham of the Coyotes will get there first, helps it along, tips back in, as I think that's caught in the goalie's pads, is it? I don't think he's quite sure where it is. The puck's come out now, but we'll have a face-off for that anyway. 2:34 to go in this opening period. Do hope you're enjoying the broadcast at home right now. As the puck's dropped once more. And it's Peter Tomek who wins that one. Comes back round. Tomek again in the corner, just looking to see who he can lay it off to. It will be blasted clear by the Coyotes. Comes all the way back down to the goalie, Brent Hope. He'll just touch it up, leaves it for Adam Winter. Played out onto the left-hand side in front of the Predators bench. Now, loose puck will come through for the Coyotes. They'll just try and tip it in, and you were saying before, Michelle, about it being a tennis match. It is kind of like that at the minute, isn't it? It's back and forth.
It's turned into the back and forth hockey. It's a bit more what we used to. The pace has picked up a lot. It's basically like they're trying desperately to go into the end of this period of the ball.
Yeah, Boone just trying to fire one in. I think it took a deflection off Reese on the way through. Those two seem to be coming up against one another quite often. Seem to be on the ice at the same time. As I say, 2 players know each other very well. Both are qualified to play for the Predators. But Reese is playing for the Coyotes. And that one's gone in, that's crept in. I thought that had gone behind. I think the goalie had, and that's just trickled in, and he'll want that one back, won't he?
Yeah, the keeper didn't have a clue about that one. You could say he was looking straight towards timekeeper's bench, and it came in from the other side. He didn't stand a chance for that one.
No, he didn't, did he? And like you say, a lot of traffic in front of the net. 1:22 to go in the first period, and the Predators now hold a 4-1 lead. Puck's dropped. Brumby tries to win it, but the Coyotes will come out with it. He's got his stick caught under Patterson there. Unfortunate position to get your stick caught. As they'll try and go again. Number 89, Andy Graham, goes for the long pass, but played in one of his teammates quite in a difficult position. Parry trying to give him an option further forward at the ice. And again, he's still a little bit scrappy. Puck's bouncing up from the air, comes back down. It'll allow the Predators to reset, take their shape, and they're going to go again here. Brumby unable to collect the pass first time. Arnold Pierce will go again. Just over 30 seconds to go in this first period. Huge hip check there by one of the Predators' defensemen. Comes back in. Coyotes will try and go again. It's just caught up alongside the Predators' boards right now. They'll go again though. Russell trying to carry it into the zone. Goes for a shot, and that's in. That's goal number 5. And it's starting to open up a little bit now, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of gap shown at the back. The keeper's not looking on his best day. He's not as sharp as he possibly could have been.
No, he will want that one back again. They do have a second goalie. Kevin Foster's the starter, but we've got Stephen Armstrong, who is someone who is registered with the Predators as well, and I think he's even played for the Islanders at one point. So he's an experienced rec goalie that they can call upon. But it's just less than 10 seconds to go in this first period now. I'm sure Ian will be mentioning that goal at work with you tomorrow, won't he?
He'll probably be mentioning it straight away after the game. He'll probably be begging for packets of crisps, as he has a bit of a crisp addiction, and that's his little celebration. So he'll be happy with that one. Yeah,
and that will be the end of the first period. And Predators lead the game 5-1. Just got a 2-minute intermission here because they don't cut the ice in between rec games, in between periods of rec games. So both teams just head to the bench. They have like a slightly longer timeout here where they can assess what they've done and what they're going to do in the next period, and gives us a chance to catch our breath as well. But interesting opening period, wasn't it?
It is. It's not been as fiery as I would expect it to be. I've looked forward to watching a Predators game. I'm looked forward to watching Kurt players. I've heard a lot about him from not even from the Predators, from different teams. And there's a lot of teams come in, don't want to play against him. In the Dumfries tournament, we were sitting away in Sheffield after the game, heard about 5 or 6 people mentioning him straight away. But he's had quite a quiet game today. I'm a little...
He has actually,
I don't think disappointed's the right word for it.
No, but I mean...
It's not what I was expecting.
It's not, and the goals have been spread around a little bit today. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's been 5 different goal scorers so far. I'll have to double check that at the end of the game. But yeah,
it's been a respectful game.
Yeah, I think they're probably aware of that, haven't they, the Predators? They don't want to rack up the goals too early on, and if they do, the contest is over. And Coyotes getting that goal back to make the scoreline 2-1 was probably what the game needed right then. But you would suspect, though, that as the game wears on, the Coyotes will tire, having played yesterday and having had the shorter bench.
On the subject of the keeper, when we talked about Foster before saying he's not having his best day, what's your opinion on the keepers when they're not having the greatest time? Because it's something that we talk about quite a lot when we're down the penalty bench, when you see the likes of Lawson having a bad day. What's the best thing, do you think, to do with them? Do you change them quite early on, or do you let them play through it?
Well, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, in rec, quite often they only come with a 1 goalie. I mean, as it happens, they do have 2. I would suspect they will change the goalie at some point in the game, just for the sheer amount of shots they face. But as regards Richie Lawson, I mean, I think he's one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the NIHL. Yes, occasionally he might not have the best of games, but I know coach David Longstaff has pulled him quite early in games this season, well, last season I should say. Personally, I'll probably let him play through it if it is early on, but it's difficult to say though, isn't it?
It's one of those ones I've always been curious about. Do you let them make the decision themselves, or do you make it as a coach? Which way is the best way forward on it?
It's, yeah, I mean, I guess it's something you have to decide, but I mean, pulling them early on is probably a little bit drastic, but it depends. If it costs you the game by not changing them, I guess you have to. But we're back underway here now anyway. Start of the second period, and I'm suspecting we'll see quite a lot of action down this end of the rink as the Predators will be attacking that one.
I feel like I've opened a debate up now.
Well, no, it was a good,
Facebook debate.
Very good question, Michelle, and welcome them. Welcome questions like that. As 30 seconds into the second period, it's going to be the Predators go for the long pass, just flicked on by number 63, Kurt Elgey, who we were talking about in the break. Adam Winter does a little turn. Hodgkiss now fires one in, comes back off the boards. LG will take it behind the net. He'll be looking to try and lay it off. Winter's an option at the point, but he decides to go for the reverse pass behind him to Hodgkiss. Hodgkiss now tied up slightly, centres it, but LG had already gone ahead and so couldn't get the return pass. Johnson trying to counter for the Coyotes. He's got Reese out there with him. Johnson will go again though, wearing a full face guard as well, a full cage. As Binney will dump it in. Shanks just finishing the check on him. Pendleton helping it along. Now the Coyotes going again.
Just falling off the bench there, casually on the way on the ice.
Yeah. As it's dumped in, we've got a stoppage. I'm assuming that's for icing, is it? Not quite sure what happened there. It's certainly coming out. They're going to go all the way back down. Yes, that will be for icing.
The referee signals definitely aren't as clear on a rec game as on a normal game.
It wasn't just me that missed it then. That's good.
No, they're not signalling.
And Davey Emerson, he's obviously somebody who's a very experienced referee, isn't he?
He's very experienced. Still owes me a cup of tea from pouring it over me at the start of the Warriors season, but we'll not go into that.
Yeah, he's an experienced referee who does official games at the NIHL level, so a lot of experience. We wouldn't expect too many strange calls off him.
I can remember him being around as long as I can remember being here. That's how long I think he's been here.
Yeah, he has been away for a while, certainly. As Coyotes just cover that one up. The goalie did enough to stop it. We'll get a face-off in the Coyotes zone, just to the right of the goalie, in fact. As it's going to be Peter Tomek who takes the face-off. He looks different from since I last seen him, though. Has he lost a bit of weight since he played for the Warriors? Because he seemed quite short and stocky, doesn't he?
Athletically built now than he used to.
He's quite short and stocky. He seems like he's been stretched out a little bit. He's like taller and slimmer than he was.
Grown.
Yeah. Which I would say it's good to see him back on the ice here at Whitley, and it's been a long time since he was in a Warriors jersey, but one or two fans who are listening who are familiar with the Warriors will probably remember him. Played in that 2008-2009 season.
I believe it was actually a trivia question in the last quiz.
Really? Okay.
I can't remember how I worded it, but he wasn't answer to a question.
I would imagine he was actually the last import Whitley had until Andre signs 2 years ago, was he?
I think he was.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else in between. So Ian Russell now just helping the puck along the boards, comes back round. Ronald Pearce battling away, trying to get something on it. On clearance has had a little bit too much mustard on it and unable to be kept in. Michael Ord, it just had to come back out the zone on that time. The Predators, Ian Russell will get it again, but going to be called for, I think, tripping. I think it was the first penalty call of the game.
It's the first one that's been signalled in the game.
It is, yeah, for tripping. Yeah, that is an interesting call.
It's a bit of a soft one, really.
It is a little bit, yeah. I thought he was going to call it for offside, maybe on the Coyotes, because they've just advanced into the Predators zone. But no, it's gives the Coyotes their first power play of the game, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with it, with that man advantage for the next 2 minutes. John Zekers will go for the long pass, the diagonal pass to Johnson. He's unable to get it first time, ends up leaving it for Binney. Binney will just sort of blast it in, and that will force Brent Hope just to tip the puck away. Fired over, comes back round now for Brumby. Goes for the outside pass, looking for a return. Brumby's in here, fires, went for the short-handed goal there. Goalie did just enough though to stop the puck. Graham, here will go again. Finds John Zekers, his defensive partner. Looking to clear it out now. This is This is actually a power play for the Coyotes, but it's all Predators at the minute, even playing with a man light. As Ian Russell helps it along to Mark Bone, he'll go back to the bench. 2 more players will come into the action for the Predators as they get a half line change done. The first minute of that power play has gone, and so far it's just been all Predators.
You wouldn't think they were the man down. They're definitely going for it in this 2 minutes.
They really are, aren't they? It's impressive play by the Predators. Davies now. He's normally the centre player coach for the Predators, but he's just sitting on the blue line there because Mark Bone had pinched forward. He was just covering that position off. Well read. Now he's going to advance back forward. Seems quite happy sitting there, just having a bit of experience on that blue line to lead the team on this penalty kill. But, in this case, the best form of defence seems to be attack, because they've just not allowed the Coyotes to have the puck high up the ice and get any opportunities.
I don't think it's actually gone over the halfway mark since the man came off.
No, they had the face-off in that zone, obviously, and then once it was cleared by the Predators, it's been all Predators, and that is done for the power play. They return to full strength now, the Predators, and very, very impressive 2-minute penalty kill that. LG just subtly sends a puck down to Davies. He'll go for the return pass, fires, but can't get past the goalie. Graham now, he's looking to try and counter. Could have been called from tripping. That's number 35, Wafer, we think it is. And having just come out of the box, could have probably been called for tripping there. Certainly looked more obvious than the one he was called for. As we're going to have a face-off just in front of us here, on the opposite side to a rink where the Warriors games are broadcast from, just above the timekeeping bench here. Patterson wins it for the Coyotes. In fact, they've won pretty much every face-off draw, haven't they, the Coyotes?
They have.
They've been very strong in that position. Certainly Pendleton just tied up along the boards a little bit, and they're going to get a break on here again now, the Predators. Shanks looking to play the pass behind the net. They're going to leave it, though. Comes all the way back round for Peter Tomek. He'll centre it. Tomek again. Comes back round. Predators just keeping possession of it in the zone, but Coyotes do finally get a hold of it. Graham's looking to try and counter. Huge mid-ice hit, but it's Wafer who comes off worse. Graham will fire, goes low, and again the pair of them, it's Keystone Cops time here, as the pair of them sort of collided with one another and ended up falling over on top of each other. A little bit comical there. Pendleton for the Coyotes just plays it along, kept in by number 70. Anthony Charters. Pendleton, as the goalie will make the save for the Coyotes. A lot of traffic going on there, and just trying to steal another one in like they did early on, aren't they, Michelle?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more competitive this second period. There's a lot more in it. Both teams are really going for it.
Yeah, we're going to get a face-off just to the Coyotes left. So Kevin Foster, the goalie, just having a little bit of work done. One of his teammates is just doing something to the chin strap, I think, of his helmet. But, looks like he's biting the material, so something's obviously not connecting, is it? But slight delay here. And yeah, goalie seems happy. We're going to get the face-off now, which they're going to have to defend. As I say, it's in the Coyotes' defensive zone. And it's Russell who comes out with it for the Predators. Back to the blue line. Huge slap shot by Mark Bone, but comes back off the boards. Winter unable to tip it back in as the Coyotes get a vital clearance. Brent Hope comes way out of his crease there to touch it up. Almost like a Manuel Neuer role there, a sweeper keeper. He comes so far out of his crease just to keep the puck moving. Where Winter this time trying to clear it. Did a couple of turns there, very impressive. Davies tried to centre it. Reese will clear it, but he inadvertently comes back off Ronald Pearson. He's kept in.
Yeah, you obviously didn't see him at all.
He didn't, did he? No, and he just sort of ghosted in. Huge slap shot again by Mark Bone, fired from distance.
Every slap shot he's done has ended up in the same place.
It has.
It
has. Maybe if he just stood a little bit further. Yeah, and again goes for third one. This time it comes off Coyotes player Reese, and he's not here. He's feeling that. Certainly he's limping around. He took that full force in the ankle. There's they're going to look to counter again. Now Pearce goes around Binney a couple of times there. Huge, I say hip check. It's more of his backside, but it was enough to upend the American. As they've got a rare break here, the Coyotes, but Winter did ever so well. He just got his stick in the way when the Coyotes player was in the action of shooting. Now the Preds are looking to counter. Carried back in. That was almost called for offside. Shoved off the putt there, Winter. And at the moment, it's the Coyotes that are probably the more aggressive out of the two. And I thought it would be the other way. But it's done back in again. It's going to be number 22, Ryan Patterson of the Coyotes, who will try and clear it. Comes all the way back down. And Michael Lord will get there first for the Predators. Just taking his time. Hodgkiss, a little 1-2 with Davies. Davies will get the second pass there to Kurt Elgey. Now Hodgkiss again on this left wing. He'll dump it back for Elgey. Just allows the Coyotes to get back and make a clearance. Just takes that pressure off. Elgey, though, back checking well. He'll take the puck behind the net. Goes for the long pass out to the right. Coyotes doing ever so well here, actually, just keeping the pressure on the Predators. Not letting them sit for 1 minute. As Graham, he just couldn't take that pass first time. An awkward bounce off the boards. Hodgkiss unable to control for the Predators. Now the Coyotes looking to counter. Huge, great glove save. Huge shot from distance as well, but another sort of Hollywood save, wasn't it? But he got his glove up there high.
Yeah, he's a very active keeper. When you compare him to the one at the other end as well, he's very much static, very much just trying to get in the way. He's extremely active. He's moving around nearly all the time.
He certainly is. And as you'd expect, having been schooled in Canada, he will be a decent standard as the Predators win the draw. Just trying to get it out here though, but I thought it was going to trickle in then. Very tame looking shot that almost caught the goalie out. The Predators are going. Graham just unable to gather first on for the Coyotes, but they do have it on their own blue line. They'll look to clear, unable to collect it, and it means Michael Lord can clear it now, and the Coyotes will have to come all the way back down. Coyotes looking to start an attack again. Unable to get there for Johnson. And it means that the Predators have it back, go for the long diagonal pass. Again, the passing's just got a little bit sloppy of the last couple of minutes, hasn't it? There's Johnson. He's unable to gather, and we turned over once again, this time for the Predators. They'll go back. And just playing along the blue line for now. Goes for the return pass there, but unable to gather. Sean Zeekers goes in, comes off second best on a huge hit there by Anthony Charters. And Peter Tomek goes in. He'll try and close in on Chris Graham. Tries to force a turnover. Indeed, it works. Comes back to Tomek, this time on the right-hand side. Brumby's in there as well. Winter's going to fire in. Just cut out this time by the Coyotes. They're going to look to counter. Reese unable to control that, gets a bit of an elbow off Mark Bone there. As the two have had a good battle all game so far. Just under 9 minutes to go in the second period, so just past the halfway point. Still 5 goals to 1. There's been no goals in this second period so far, as the Coyotes have just tried to stem the bleeding a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, the defence look absolutely done in. I'm guessing it's defence they're short of, as they seem to be double shifting, and they look absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, yesterday they had 2 defensive pairings and just about 2 lines, and I think possibly 7 forwards in total. But even though Grimsby actually had a shorter bench than them, they only came up with 6 skaters, and were able to beat them. But yeah, they're certainly giving up some personnel compared to the Predators.
I don't think I've actually seen number 14 leave the ice in the last 10 minutes.
No, Jonesy, because he's somebody. That's a name that I'm familiar with, actually.
John Sakaras.
That's the one, John Sakaras.
I know his dad
there we go.
very well.
I knew I was pronouncing it wrong. John Sakaras. Well, that's.
It's Norwegian descent.
Really? Yeah. It doesn't really look Norwegian, does it? It looks. I don't know what it is really. Czech maybe or something, but it certainly didn't. Yeah, it certainly doesn't look or sound very Norwegian, but.
His father's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, very good. Well, I'll leave you to pronounce his name in future then.
No, thank you.
But yeah, he's certainly a player I was familiar with his name. Was he played in the Warriors level at some point, perhaps?
I don't think he played Warriors. I think he played... I've probably got it wrong. It's either Newcastle or Sunderland. He was at one of those two levels.
Right.
I remember his dad, Eric, did tell me about it one day. But it was a while ago he told me about it.
Yeah, it's certainly...
He's a good player, very good player.
It's a name, when you see it, you certainly wouldn't forget, but not as easy to pronounce, as the Predators have got another penalty called on them here. It's going to be on Derek Hodgkiss, and allows the Coyotes to go on the power play for a second time this game. Again, it's not the most obvious of calls, and I don't think Hodgkiss is too happy about the call either, is he?
No, he doesn't look it.
Penalty box is literally about 6 feet away from where we are, so it's just underneath where we are commentating and indeed broadcasting from. 7 minutes to go in the second period, and just over a minute and a half to go on this power play, but once again, the Predators still have possession of it. And for the Coyotes, really, it's just trying to get the puck off them, isn't it? Yeah,
they're doing a very good game, just keeping the puck, making sure that the Coyotes don't get it. Basically, they don't stand a chance going forward if they can't get any possession in.
Well, that's right, yeah. And huge shot from distance comes back off a net, which is why we've got the stoppage. 6:48 to go in the second period, 1:29 to go on the power play. Going to get a face-off in the... I was nearly going to call them the Nashville Predators then, the Newcastle Predators. As Patterson's going to go in there for the Coyotes, and this time it's going to be the Predators that come out with it. Quite happy just to stay in the corner for now, just eating into the clock a little bit. Huge clearance. Of course, that won't be called for icing because they are on the penalty kill. Peter Tomek just going in to try and close him down, just to hurry the play up a little bit. Graham now for the Coyotes. Finds his linemate out on the left. Shot from distance has come off the pad of the goal. He went behind. Be happy to see that go behind the net and not inside it. Could have gone absolutely anywhere, the deflection it took. As Tomek delivers some sort of a hit there on the Coyotes player. Now Graham again lines up the huge slap shot, comes back off Wafer's leg. Vital interception there, comes behind, and Graham will go again. Nice little 1-2 there. Ghosted in, but from that angle he was never going to find the net. 5:50 to go in the second period, 30 seconds left in the power play. One of the Predators there calling for it. Shot from distance again. It was Patterson, number 22, just banging his stick off the ice, screaming for it. He was in a great position, but seemingly his teammate couldn't find him. Graham now, number 77 for the Coyotes. He'll just play it along to his namesake, number 88, who is... 89, who's Andy Graham. I'm not sure if they are related, but there's a couple of Grahams on the team. 1 second left on this penalty kill for the Predators, so as soon as the puck's dropped on this ensuing face-off, Hodgkiss will return to the play.
Common name in this neck of the woods, Graham.
It is, isn't it, actually? But
especially in hockey families, it goes back quite a bit.
Yeah, well, indeed, the Warriors had two goalies, didn't they? Peter Graham and his brother. But I'm just noticed if the Predators have had another penalty called on them there. So for 1 second it was down to 5-on-3. Hodgkiss comes back in. Means we're going to get another 1 minute 50 or so of power play for the Coyotes, a third of the game. But I mean, at least this last one, although they didn't really do too much with it, most of the possession was in the Predators' zone, wasn't it? Rather than the Predators attacking them with the man short. 4:50 to go in the second period now. Hodgkiss just trying to get something out, trying to clear it. Benny goes from distance, but it will come back now for Bone. Nice little bounce off the ball, just fell nicely for him. As the Predators are looking to get a break on here, fired in, and it's gone through. The goalie spilt it, actually.
He still hasn't seen it either?
No, he didn't. I thought he had it in his glove. He certainly thought it had, and it just appeared from behind him. So, yeah, that could have been an embarrassing moment for him there, but got away with that one.
It's a good job he didn't move.
It is, yeah. I think standing still in that situation did pay off for him, and his defenseman spotted it first before one of the the Predators did and could just tap that home. Means we have the face-off, though, high up the ice, and this is going to eat into the power plate for the Coyotes. Just over a minute of it left. As Adam Winter will go behind the net for the Predators. He's got it now, just finds Ian Russell, who'll kick it with his skate onto his stick, taking on two of the defensemen, but unable to get past them in the end. It will come back round. Russell will gather again. And so important to have possession of the puck high up the ice on the penalty kill like this. Just means that the Coyotes can't even get it clear. And now we're going to have I thought we was going to have a little set two there. Gloves in the face. And then it looked like Ian Russell sort of inadvertently tripped up his own man there, didn't he?
Yeah, he does it quite often. Ian is the type of person, every time we have a hockey game, we speak to him the next day and he's getting some form of injury.
It's a bit like the Dean Holland of Newcastle Predators then, always getting knocked down and injured.
20 years older than Dean, but
yes,
about the same.
As the penalty's just winding down, about 5 seconds left now. Predators will be relatively happy with the way they killed that, I think, as indeed they are back to full strength. As a puck went into the air, that was a clever little move there actually by Ronald Pearce. He just spotted it, caught it with his glove, just as he was coming into the zone, so he was able to carry it over the blue line with his glove rather than his stick, but wasn't able to get his shot away in the end. But it was an impressive bit of handiwork. 89 Graham, that's Andy Graham I should say, to differentiate the two. They're trying to go again now. The Coyotes just in parry on the left hand side in front of the Newcastle Predators bench. Long clearance there. As it was left, I thought he was going to blow for icing, but it was left in the end. Must have took a little deflection on the way through. Kurt Elgey now. He's looking to lay it off to try and find Hodgkiss, but Coyotes will just clear it back to the red line now. Wafer will dump it in. Finds Elgey. Elgey will go from distance. Again, like you said before, Michelle, it's not really happening from today, is it?
No. I think 12 o'clock on a Sunday is probably a bit too early for it.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. I mean, these people who go out drinking on a Saturday night. Oh, that one's gone in. And was that Elgey this time, perhaps?
I think it was.
Yeah, well, that's a typical commentator's comment, wasn't it? As soon as you mention him, he goes and scores. So, first goal of the period, and it's come with 2:03 left. So, I've got to say, though, the Coyotes have done ever so well in the second period just to shut them down, because at 5-1 at the end of the first, you did fear for them a little bit, didn't you? Yeah,
they've done very, very well to shut down this period. The defence, well, the 4 defensemen I think we've got.
Yeah, I think
really,
so.
really hard keeping them out.
Yeah, that's very impressive. But it is now 6-1 anyway, just under 2 minutes to go in this second period. And the Predators moving it around again. It's going to be Shanks, I think it is. Finding Charters. Benny will just try and get an interception there, as will Chris Graham, who was in attendance. Coyotes just trying to clear it now. Johnson, well kept in on the blue line there by Wafer, just had his stick right on the blue line, kept it in, stopped the puck from coming out. Now the Coyotes looking to clear again, but once again Wafer's there, goes for a long shot from distance, got the pad down low there. Johnson unable to gather, means Predators come back with it. Wafer again on the point, winds one up, again comes off the pad. As they'll go again, Wafer once more. Plays the puck along to Michael Ord on the other side, but Reese was in a great position there, just trying to steal the puck back off him, and it worked. Unable to find one of his teammates. I think he's looking for Johnson, as he's landed awkwardly there. And we've got interference.
He's just catching his breath.
Yeah. Called interference. So fourth penalty of the game for the Predators. None called on the Coyotes as yet. But it means they will end the period on the power play. There's 1:02 left in this second period. And perhaps that's been one of the reasons why the Predators haven't been as fluent in this second period, just because they've been on the penalty kill so often.
Yeah, constantly on and off the ice.
It's just disrupted that flow a little bit, hasn't it? And means we get the face-off high up the ice again, so the Predators will have to defend this. Patterson goes in, but it's going to be the Predators that come out with it. Come through as far as the red line. Predators trying to clear it as best they can. It comes all the way into the zone. We've got 48 seconds to go in this second period. Graham trying to get it past one of the Predators players there. I think it was Winter. Indeed it is. Winter's going back. Someone's lost their stick in amongst all that. Goes for the centre. Brumby just unable to turn and control. Russell keeps it in well on the blue line. Goes past one. Tries to go past another. Patterson keeping him in attendance. Comes back. Brumby again. Now Winter. He keeps it in on the blue line. He'll flick it in, or is trying to, but bundled over by Graham, who's looking to get the count on here on this right wing. Tries to pull it back. Comes back round, and Brent Hope, the Canadian goalie, will just get a stick trap. Just keeps it away from his crease. Goes for a pullback, but no Coyotes player was able to gather, and it means Chris Graham has to come all the way back now to gather. Ian Russell keeping pressure on him, and that will do it for the second period. And not as many goals, but impressive performance so far by the Coyotes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a lot more aggressive in this period, a lot faster pace. It's looked a much better game overall in this period. It literally seems like it's took a period for the Coyotes to wake themselves up and get into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is impressive. We were saying, weren't we, but at the end of the first period, it going to be worried because it was just going to be one-sided and we're going to see lots of goals going in the Coyotes' net, but that hasn't been the case, and you've got to give them a lot of credit for that. Yeah,
they've fought hard on it. They've really pulled themselves back into the game. They're doing very well considering the much shorter bench. They've had a game yesterday. They're really pulling it back in this game.
Yeah, it certainly has, as we've got this is a 3-minute intermission this time. I think it's because it's the second period, therefore the players have been playing for a little bit longer, so they get that extra minute of time. And it's quite difficult, isn't it, with rec hockey, because the lads don't get the ice paid. They have to pay for it themselves. They're effectively hiring the ice off the rink management, and so they have to try and fit as much into that time as possible, so they don't get much time in between the periods.
I think it kind of reflects in the slower pace of the game. They haven't got as long to recover between the periods, whereas the likes of the NIHL League, the play is much faster, but they then get the 20-minute break to recover from it.
Yeah, that's right.
They've got to try and conserve themselves to get all the way through the game with just a couple-minute break in the middle. And you've got to remember, these lads are either, the majority of them are 18, 19, 20-year-olds that weren't fit enough to make that league, or late 30s, early 40s who've already played in the bigger leagues and decided to step back down again, or decided that they're not quite cut out for the league.
Well, that's right, yeah. I mean, as the Islanders, who are another of the rec teams who played at Whitley, they've got a lot of former Warriors, past and present. Certainly one or two players playing for Warriors last season didn't quite make it and has gone back to the Islanders. And, of course, the likes of Bobby Bradley and James Waller, who playing for Warriors certainly made their debut around 97, 98, so they've been in the game a long time. And Kevin Bucas as well, who'd left but wanted to come back. He'd started a family but missed a game, and now he's back.
I'll never forget the day that we were sitting with Alan Yarrow in the stands. And he saw Bobby Bradley and ran down and shouted, "Mate, I thought you died 10 years ago."
Yeah, he was surprised, but
the look of shock on his face, you couldn't make that up.
Alan Yarrow, the Rocket, he's one of the great characters of the game, and played for the Warriors the last 2 seasons. But a lot of former Warriors players. It is, I don't want to say it harshly that it's a retirement home for young players, it's not, but it's kind of when they've fallen away from the game, it's the players get to that certain age, don't they, where they can't commit to the Warriors and that intensity and that sort of travelling more than anything because of their family life, and then they miss the sport, and when their kids are sort of a little bit older, they can afford a bit more time. And in the case of Kevin Bucas, certainly we've seen him come back, and to be honest, I think he looks as good as anyone and could easily play for the Warriors again. Yeah,
there's a big thing with the keepers as well coming down to this level. It's obviously, especially if you look at this rink, we've got 9, I think, rec teams playing out of it, plus uni teams.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you've only got 1 team above that in the next league. That means you've got roughly, 3 keepers to each team, 27 keepers, and you can only take 3 at senior level.
Well, that's right. It means that there's going to be a lot of talent there, doesn't it? And
there'll be a lot drop out from like under 18s, under 16s as well that either side. I just want to do it, keep fit. I don't want to travel. I've got uni, things like that. It's a good place for them to go.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Of course, Niall Simpson, who plays for the Warriors, so he played last season. He was at the Predators last summer. So
most improved player this year.
Indeed, yeah. Although quite what they can base that on, considering it was his rookie season for the Warriors. So quite improved against what? Haven't played before.
The start of the season.
The start of the season, maybe. Yeah, it's a bit of a curious one. That I'm not quite sure how the selection process goes, but either way, he's been a vital member of the team, and good to see guys like that get their chance for the Warriors. As Coyotes just looking to get something on it here. Parry goes for the diagonal pass out from the left to the right. Coyotes looking quite sharp here. Goes for the diagonal shot. Put a lot of power on that, Chris Graham, but couldn't get it on target. Graham just leaves it now for Binney. Patterson looking to try and get back. Kurt Algie will just dump it in. That will allow him and his line mates to get back to the bench, make the line change. It's a full 5-man line change as well. Fresh 5-man unit out there. Ronald Pearce trying to find Ian Russell. Brumby fires one in, and Coyotes just trying to protect their goalie there in case he gave up any rebounds. At 6-1, start of the third period, just over a minute into it. And got to say though, the Coyotes started quite bright again, didn't they?
They have. They've definitely started the period running again.
Yeah, that's good to see. We do want to see it an even contest. We don't want to see a one-sided blowout. And do hope you're enjoying this back at home, wherever you are watching it. A friend of mine, Craig Dickinson, is watching this, so hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. And I'm going to say a huge thank you to Stars TV for bringing this coverage to you. They do a great job. They work for the Billingham Stars in the NIHL, and I do urge you to check out their highlights on YouTube, as this is the first broadcast for the Newcastle Predators, and certainly something we're hoping that fans will enjoy. Brumby ghosts in there towards the crease, but puck didn't arrive towards him. Comes back round. Ian Russell just trying to get it clear of the boards, ends up kicking it to Ronald Pearce. Pearce just stationary there, waiting to see what's open for him. Goes for the pull back out onto the point. Wafer just dumps it back in. As Ronald Pearce goes again, try and keeps it in. Ian Russell goes a good glove save there, but spilt it again though, didn't he, Michelle?
He did. It's, without wanting to compare him to the keeper on the other side too much, I think he needs a little bit more movement in his game. He's waiting for the puck to come into him before he tries to make any attempt to stop it. He needs to be trying to make that little slight push forward, stop it a bit further out.
Yeah.
That's probably why the puck's going through him, stopping just before the line. I was obviously saving it too close to the line. Yeah,
that's right, and it's not for the first time this game he's done that, but got away with it somewhat this time. Gave up the face-off, but at the moment his teammates are battling hard, just trying to clear it. That was a nasty fall there. I think there's going to be a penalty called. Referee's called it. Someone's thrown their stick as well, I think, the Coyotes player. But there's going to be... Is it going to be on the Predators, actually? I'm sure. He pointed to a Predators player. It is, and it's going to be... I think it's Charters who's got the penalty, and say he's wearing number 70, but I'm sure it is Charters, and that seems a bit of an odd one, because it looked to me like it was
it was a Predators man that went down.
It was Adam Winter who took the hit, so surely it should have been a call on the Coyotes, but bit of a strange call, got to say.
Credit to them at this level though, they get straight back up when they get hit.
They do, yeah, they don't stay down, and I say a lot of people will praise teams like the Warriors for having players who just play it for the love of the sport. They don't get paid for it, but you know, what would you say about rec players then? That's sort of
they are literally doing it for the love of the sport, nothing else.
Yeah, it's they don't get paid at all. They don't get any breaks in terms of paid ice time. They have to find the money themselves, the equipment and everything, so full credit to them.
For some of them it's like a social occasion though as well. Their friends are all from hockey, they come out, they have a game, they go away for a weekend. I know.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone I used to know used to be involved with the Islanders, and they said they'll go for weekends away and it'll just be like a weekend on the drink with a hockey game sandwiched in between somewhere.
Well, that's the impression I got, having spoke to Calvin Cass and one or two others are connected with the Islanders, and you know, and good luck to them. It's great to see, because as we said before, a lot of them have come through, either played for Warriors or came through the Whitley Junior development, and that's in.
That is a very good goal.
Yeah, that was well drilled actually. And they've got the goal back, and that'll make it 6-2. They've converted on the power play. That was about their 5th attempt at it, but yeah, they'll be pleased. They're back in it at 4 goals. They're not out this game yet, and that will give the Predators something to think about. But yeah, just going back to what we were saying, a lot of players who have either played for Warriors or come through the Whitley Junior system, it's good to see that they are still connected in the sport some way, because they've had the training. Parents have probably given up a lot of time and money to develop them as kids, and it'd be a shame to see them leave the sport, but rec hockey does give them that option, doesn't it? It's
one of those sports that's very, very addictive to play. You do get stuck into it, and having the rec league gives it somewhere where they can go and where they can keep playing constantly. I mean, when you take Eddie Good, for example.
Yeah,
his sons were playing Warriors and he was still playing for the Jesters.
That's right, indeed, he is still registered playing for the Jesters right now, and
I watched him just after Christmas. He had quite a good game against the Warriors.
He's a very experienced guy, is Eddie Good, and former announcer here, of course, for the Warriors at the rink. So, yeah, one of the great characters of the sport, certainly. But even for fans like me and you, it's rec hockey's great, isn't it? It's a summer hockey fix when you wait until September for the Warriors to return, and fans should come down. It's free entry, and it's some great hockey to be seen as well.
I thoroughly enjoy it. The players refer to it as hangover hockey. It's definitely what you get.
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. But it's all good fun, and you'll get 2 teams playing honest hockey, and it's all good-natured afterwards as well. You still get the man of the match as well, and the whole hip hip hooray sort of thing. It's sort of like a nice sort of sporting touch, isn't it, at the end, that you wouldn't normally see for the Warriors. So you'll see that certainly at the end of this game. You'll know what I'm talking about if you haven't seen a rec game before. The Predators just looking to try and get going again now, see if they can respond from conceding that second goal. Brumby just unable to control on this occasion. Ian Russell will try and close down his man, just does enough to put him off, forces a turnover, and that will allow the Predators to counter. Now Ronald Pearce finds Brumby. Brumby just unable to gather first time, looking to try and collect it on the second go, but that will just mean the Coyotes will counter now. Parry looking for an option there, but it's number 89, Andy Graham, just happened to go it alone at that point. Now Chris Graham, number 77, he'll go for a stretch pass. Oh, nice little turn there. Took the Predators defenseman well out of the game there. Nice move, nice stick work, as it's dumped back in by the Coyotes. Mark Bone's going to get there first. He's I noticed on the registration form as well, his middle initial is T, so he's T-Bone. Great. I don't know if that really is his initial, but if it isn't, then great little pun there, isn't it? Certainly, as the Coyotes goalie will cover that one up. Just over 14 minutes to go. You like that one, didn't you? I kid you not, though. If you look at the registration form, his middle initial is T.
I'm going to kidnap him after the game and ask him what his middle name is.
It could be Terence or something like that, or Thomas maybe, but yeah, all good fun. And just as we're talking, Mark Bone is tapping the ice with his stick, calling the pass. Indeed, he gets it. Winds up a huge slap shot, fires, and somehow the goalie stopped that. I don't know if it was a combination of the glove and the pad, but either way, we're going to get a rerun of that face-off.
It's good seeing he's moved 2 foot further over though, so he's now hitting on the goal.
He is, yeah. He's obviously listened to your advice in the second period, Michelle. Comes back again. Bone's going to go again. He just goes for a slight pass there. He faked the shot, but knew he wasn't going to get it away because he'd been closed down. So clever little move. As Shanks will go in. Huge hit there. And Charters then follows up, and Peter Tomac just tried to direct it towards goal. Tomac going again. Finishes his hit, and that was a huge hit there on Reese. Reese has been banged up a little bit, and I think they have jokingly said they were going to target him with him being one of their teammates and playing on the opposite side, so he was expecting this coming from his teammates, so it's all good-natured banter. Davies just unable to connect that time. As LG will try and gather behind the net. Indeed he does. He's looking to lay it off. Tries Davies. Davies unable to control. Winter will have to go in there and collect. Takes it round a couple of Coyotes players. Now the pull back. Davies unable to gather again. Pass from LG. And then they're looking to counter once more. Peter Tomek, who's still on the ice, he's now heading back to the bench. As the Coyotes are going to use this time to get a line changes on as well. LG finds Davis again. For anyone who hasn't been to a rec game or indeed a Predators game, the player Coach Davis is quite loud, he's quite animated, and in between the periods and in timeouts he's very, very vociferous when he's talking to his team. But he sounds a bit like Brian Glover, the actor who used to be famous for a Tetley Tea advert. So anyone who remembers him, he's an uncanny resemblance in his voice. So it's always good fun to hear his timeout talks, and I would urge you to come down the rink and listen to that. Rennie is clearing it. Pendleton's going to try and gather for the Coyotes now. He'll dig it out the corner. Receives a huge hit off, I think it's Kurt Alge again. Hodgkiss gathers it at the second attempt. Goes for the diagonal pass. Alge on this left wing, looking to try and centre it to Davis. Davis unable to gather. Allows the Coyotes just to clear it. Seem to have number 22, Ryan Patterson, just parked in front of the goalie now, just to try and sweep up those spills that the goalie makes, those rebounds he gives up. Brumby now protecting his goal, helping just clear the crease. As we said before, Brumby made his name with the Sunderland Chiefs, came through that junior development system as Kurt Alge's upended, but it's looks like Parry who's come off for worse for wear as he goes back to the bench. Alge just...
For them being Newcastle Predators, there's a lot of Sunderland-based players, isn't there?
Well, there is, and to be fair, obviously the rink closed down long ago, as we're going to get a penalty in a minute, but yeah, it closed down in 2000 when the ice started leaking, it melted and leaked into the shops below. They were playing in Newcastle for a number of years before the Vipers took them on. And just getting that, yeah, it's going to be the first call on the Coyotes by the looks of it. It's going to be for cross-checking, I think. Yep. Pointed to the bench. The player, Mr. Leffey, hasn't gone back to the bench, but he will now have to sit in the box and feel shame for the next 2 minutes and then get free. Shameless quote there from Slapshot, of course. And but it is going to be the first power play for the Predators. He looks a little bit perplexed, actually, the Coyotes player. It's going to be 2 in there, so it must be 2 plus 10 that he's got. There's two players going to sit in this box. The captain's in there as well. No, he's going back out. Obviously just having a quick word with him. Johnson, it's Reese.
Somebody else coming over
somebody
now.
is going to go and sit in the box. So it must be a 2 plus 10. It's Reese, who is the player who's registered to play for the Predators and who is a qualified referee who's had the call made against him.
Should know better.
Yeah, I mean, he should actually. I mean, he gave Kevin Bucas a rather bizarre call on Monday night against the Jesters. He gave him a 2-minute penalty for next to nothing, then gave him 2 10-minute misconducts for asking him why he'd been called a penalty for.
I do enjoy ones like that.
Yeah, but now, that's come back to bite him a little bit now, because he's had one that's been called on him, and he's going to sit out for the majority of the rest of his game now.
It's quite entertaining when you watch it from the stands when calls like that are made, but I can tell you now, from the penalty box, it's not entertaining.
No, I mean, that's one of the things about rec hockey is you can pretty much hear what the referee or the players will say. If you're sitting anywhere close to the penalty box, you'll hear word for word. And I heard Kevin Bucas ask what's it for, ref, and he got a 10-minute misconduct for that, which is a little bit frustrating when you're a player in that position. As we know only too well, with Andre Payet getting some dodgy calls this season.
Should have tried being in the penalty bench when Ollie Lomax got given 2 10 minutes while he was standing next to you. That wasn't very entertaining.
No, I can imagine it wasn't. And that's in. That will kill the penalty then. Or end the penalty, I should say. And it's actually Reese who's going back out there, which means he must have been the one serving the 2 minutes. So it wasn't him who had the penalty called against him. So Reese has gone back into the action. And Predators have converted on that power play, so that's now 7-2. As we've got just over 10 minutes left in this game. But it means that, can't quite see what the number of a shirt of the player who's had the penalty called on him. It might be number 10 maybe, I'm not sure. But anyway, he's going to be sitting out for, I would say, almost the whole of this game now. there'll be about a minute left, I think, when he'll come back out the box. As got Mark Bone now for the Predators. He'll come back round the net, and the goalie will cover that one up. 9:52 to go. But be interesting to see what happens in those last 10 minutes, because Coyotes just got that goal back before. That brought them back in, but now you would suspect, having restored that 5-goal advantage, that's probably done it for them.
Yeah, I can imagine it's turned into a very friendly game from here, to be honest. There's not really much that they can do to pull 5 goals back, and there's no real point in the Predators going for more after this.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. And I think because the two teams, yes, it's a local derby, but both teams know each other so well, so there'll be no point in causing any sort of bad blood between the two. Indeed, that there is players on both who will play for both teams, so absolutely no reason to do that whatsoever. As the Coyotes are going on the attack, though. They're trying to push to get a goal back. If they're going to, they're going to have to do it quick. This is their debut season in the competition. Indeed, their debut was yesterday. And losing 7-4 to the reigning champions, who have been champions the last 2 years, isn't a bad way to start it, only losing 7 goals to 4. But the Predators have looked sharp this season. Yes, they lost at Grimsby, but they beat that same side last week, putting 6 goals past them in what was a fiery game, and they've looked good again today, so they're going to be serious title contenders for us, aren't they, Michelle?
I think they will be.
It's good to see. Last season didn't go quite the way the team would have liked, but they look a lot stronger this year and look like they mean business. So do check out their website. There's going to be a timeout called here, I think, by the Coyotes. Yeah, do check out their website to see when their next games are. I think they've got one next Sunday against the Don Valley Vikings, who are based at Sheffield. And do come along to the game. There's quite a few fans here actually today, isn't there, Michelle? As considering it's a rec game, it's good to see.
There's a good handful.
Yeah, well, it's more than what you'd expect.
Yeah, considering rec games used to come in, there wouldn't be a soul on the ice, right?
Well, that's right, yeah.
So it's very promising to see.
Well, certainly yesterday there wasn't many, but no, it's good to see. And we'll see my friend Keith Richardson, who's sitting exactly opposite us. That's what would be his normal seat for Warriors games, and see him just sitting behind the Predators bench right now, and one or two others. But yeah, there's more fans here than I was expecting, so that's good. But a reminder again that all games, rec games here at the rink, are free, so do come along, do come watch the lads. I know they'd appreciate the support.
I can imagine the later one today will have quite a few more people in.
Yeah, that one's Durham versus the Durham Dragons versus the Cleveland Comets. That is going to be screened live as well with Stars TV, so do please stick around and watch that later on. I think that's been moved to a 5 p.m. face-off now. It was originally scheduled for 4:15, and indeed it was advertised as that, but it's been pushed back to 5 p.m. But please do tune in for that one on the Stars YouTube channel, as that was just passed along there through the crease. Coyotes just trying to clear it once more, but the Predators are going on the attack. Ian Russell, easily recognisable, as we said before, that red helmet, fired in, but it was covered low by the goalie. Puck comes back behind the net now. Ronald Pierce, born in St. Louis, Missouri. He was the one we were saying before, who's still awaiting to get his pads coming across from the States, so he's icing as a forward, but he's actually doing quite well as a forward, considering it's not his natural position.
He's doing very well in the forward position.
And the Coyotes has got a break on here now. Patterson fires, he's gone top shelf, and Brent Hope is not happy with that at all. He looks really angry, right? He didn't want to give that one up.
He is an angry little keeper.
Yeah, he is. He's
not a very happy man when the puck goes past him.
No, he's not happy with that at all. And but he went top shelf. That was an impressive finish, wasn't it? He put it in the one position where really the goalie could never have a chance of saving it, so he shouldn't be too upset with it.
Yeah, he definitely didn't stand a chance of that one. It wasn't any fault of his own.
No, not at all. Unless
he obviously takes it personally.
Well, unless he was just a little bit unhappy with his teammates, because he did get a break on. I mean, he sprung the defensive trap, didn't he? He got the break on. It was 1-on-1, and perhaps he was expecting a little bit more support from his D, but no, he can't be blamed for that. Certainly, I mean, it was heck of a shot, and as one of my co-commentators once said, went top shelf where all the best whiskey's kept. That's going to be another penalty now called on the Predators, and again not quite sure what that was for really, because they were just about to face off, restart it with the Coyotes having got it back to 7-3, and now there's been a penalty called, but it's been a busy couple of minutes, hasn't it, really? Oh no, it has been called on Pendleton of the Coyotes, so having scored, it's I can see the penalty's now been moved to the other side of the scoreboard, just a little bit confusing, but that's going to stem that momentum because they just got it back to 7-3, and with 7.5 minutes to go, they could have pushed on, but having given up another, and it's straight away the Predators have converted on it almost from the start, and just staying 6 seconds in. That's frustrating for them, isn't it?
It's very, very frustrating. It's a very good power play by the Predators. Good way to get it finished, but
it certainly is, yeah, and they will be disappointed having given that up, because having just got back, having got back in the game, got the score back to 4 goals, the momentum was back with them, but then having been called a penalty, and within 6 seconds the Predators have scored on it, so it is now 8-3 to the Predators. It's we've got another call here, have we? The referee certainly pointed at someone.
Craig's getting very whistle happy in this period.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, he's made a few calls. But no, we're just going to have a retake of the face-off. It's going to be Peter Termek who goes in for it. He didn't want to move. I don't think any player wanted to try and win that, did they?
No, it looked like one of those that's right at the very end of the game where they're just expecting to hit it and the whistle to go.
Well, that's right, yeah, and Coyotes trying to clear it inadvertently. He's just took his own man out, and Predators are going to look to build from the back again. And that's not the best of clearances though from Wafer. He'll have to go again. I think he was trying to find Michael Ord, but he was closed down pretty quick by Johnson, number 66 of the Coyotes. As Coyotes are going again. Chris Graham. Now Peter Termek. He's looking to lay it off to someone, but nobody's there. The ball come back off the boards for Michael Ord. He'll dump it back in. Comes back now for Shanks. He'll play it back along the boards. Coyotes are going to try and get this break on here now. And he's going to find Reese on this left wing. It's going to be a race between Reese and Michael Ord. Ord puts the shoulder check in. Reese will come back off it. Reese is upended by Shanks. It's a huge hit. A fair hit, it has to be said. Fired in by Pendleton. He was the one who was called for that penalty just before. As the Predators will go again. Now Stu Davies finds Hodgkiss. And fired in again by Kurt Algie. But the goalie will cover this one up. 5:44 to go. Just a second now. As happened to notice the scoreboard. They still have the clock running, but it's now been corrected. That penalty did, of course, end as soon as the Predators scored.
It's a dodgy clock.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. As I had to find out the other week when the Islanders had a game against the Grimsby Lightning, I was timekeeping, and a friend was doing I was doing the game sheet, and my friend was doing the clock, and it's a lot more complicated than you'd think, and it looks like something for a 1970s sci-fi film, doesn't it, with the buttons and stuff. I don't think it's changed much since then, but
I made a very good deal one day when our normal timekeeper wasn't here. It was one of you can do the automated game sheet, one of you can do the clock. I very quickly grabbed the tablet and went to the other side of the bench.
I don't blame you, Michelle. I think that's much the easier one. As a fan, I've been filling in game sheets for years, so it comes as second nature, but operating a hockey clock, it's not the easiest of things to do. Winter's going to keep it in here. I thought he was going to go for a huge slap shot then, but he just subtly sent the puck past his man and found his teammate, Mark Bone now. Ulgava goes around a couple of players. He's in the corner. He's not got an obvious option. He'll have to pull it all the way back to the point for Hodgkiss. Hodgkiss will fire in. It takes a deflection through on a Coyotes player. Goalie will cover it up, and he's been bundled in. Pendleton not very happy with that, and it's been bundled in, I think, by Kurt Algie. right on the doorstep. I thought the goalie had it, but it must have just squibbed loose again.
There's quite a few times today we thought the goalie's had it when he hasn't.
That's a very good point, Michelle. Yeah, we have, haven't we?
I don't quite know what to think of it.
No, I mean, we didn't see it because there was that much traffic in front of the net. There was a lot of bodies there, but I thought the goalie had it. I think he went to cover it, and perhaps the puck's just come loose again.
The strangest bit is every time it seems to have gone under him, his pads have been completely closed. He's been completely blocked off. He's basically been like a brick wall, and somehow it's gone through him somewhere.
Indeed. Yeah, that's a very fair point. As they're going to go straight ahead and try and get a goal back again. Patterson trying to bulldoze his way through, but Bone was there once more. Wafer will clear it along. Now Ian Russell, he's just trying to tie up one of the players. Coyotes just battling away there, trying to get it clear. Bone will keep it in though. And now he's trying to hook his man there, but got away with that one. Now Winter will go again. He'll carry it in, gets his head down low and just charges up the ice. As Ronald Pearce will try and take it in now. Goes around one man, he'll try and collect his own pass. Pulls it back, nobody there, and Graham has the chance to try and counter here. It's going to be a 1-on-2 break. He's got two defensemen. Banks the puck off Michael Ord's legs and he'll just try and get at the rebound. He does, he's looking for the support, but his teammates were a little bit slow in offering that support to him, so he had to go it alone. Now the Predators will just try and clear. They'll be more than happy just to see this game out. They've got a 9-3 lead, 3:40 to go in the game. So it was a nice mid-ice hit, and that's not the Peter Tomek I saw play for the Whitley Warriors all them years ago.
Is it definitely the same man?
Well, he's registered. He's registered on the official list as being Peter Tomek, so I've got to assume it is him.
Has someone borrowed his identity and come back to the country?
He certainly looks a different player for sure. This is him again. He'll lay it off to the point, fires in, the puck takes a deflection off our Coyotes player. Now Wafer once more will try and clear it. This is Shanks. Fires low.
Is that the same Shanks that played for the Warriors a couple of years ago as an under-18?
Don't think it is, no.
I know there's several of the brothers and they're all very close in age.
It's Jake Shanks who's registered for the Predators. Which leads me to believe by the look on your face that it could be him, but if that's the case, that is number 65 definitely isn't Shanks, and that is, I still think it's Anthony Charters, but he's down as number 70, which is his normal number, but it does appear like they've swapped shirts maybe, swapped numbers. Because some of them haven't got names on the back either, so it does get a little bit confusing, and you just have to go off the game sheet. But number 65 is meant to be Shanks, but I think it's Anthony Charters, so you could well be right. As they're queuing up to put that one in, Tomek just unable to get in there. Goalie recovered, got his skate. Looks like he's just reluctant to even get up there, just happy to lie down and cover off the bottom two corners. 2:02 to go in the game. Are the Predators going to find goal number 10? In fact, actually, it's going to be the Coyotes that get the break on here. They're going to get goal number 4. Reese fired over, though. Had a lot of time to think about that and took it maybe just a fraction too early, Michelle?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just rushed his shot a little bit. 1:48 to go, but it's been an interesting game because we expected the Predators to win, which with 1:48 to go, they're clearly going to, but they didn't run away with it the way we expected, did they?
In the first period, it looked like it was going to be an absolute hammer, and that was delivered to them. But something changed somewhere in the second period, and the Coyotes woke up a bit and decided that they wanted a bit of the game there.
Yeah, and that one's in. That one's crept under the goalie's legs. Stu Davies, their player coach. It was a speculative shot, really, wasn't it? But it went straight through the goalie's legs. He went 5-hole on that one.
I think that goalie needs to learn to keep his legs shut.
Yeah, I'm so tempted to go with the hockey cliche there. He's had more rubber between his legs than a cheap class hooker, but I did go there, didn't I? What a shame. As Davies, the goal scorer, will take his face off, but yeah, he just tried to dump the puck on goal, really, and it trickled through the goalie's legs.
I think they figured out if they just shoot at him, he might make a mistake and just let it in.
Shoot on sight. Well, either way, he's going to give up something, isn't he? He could have given up a rebound, and he could have quite easily got in there and followed up his own shot. As we have just over a minute to go, and it's now 10-3 in the Predators' favour. But this season is all going to be about a learning curve for the Coyotes. It's the first year that they've played in this competition. They're coming up against some pretty good teams, and to be honest, their debut weekend they've played arguably the two best teams in the competition, so it should start getting easier from there. And to be fair, both games they've not exactly been embarrassed, so they can draw a lot of confidence from these performances, I think, as it's just helped along by the goalie. Just over 40 seconds to go now. Kurt Elgey will just finish his check. Hodgkiss a little bit lackadaisical there with that pass, and it means that there's going to be a chase on here. Coyotes putting the Predators under all sorts of pressure, but it's the Preds who get away with it, with Winter being hooked back a little bit. Referee missed that one. Just over 20 seconds to go.
Quite impressed how he managed to clear the whole length of the ice twice over the puck.
He did, yeah. LG upends one of the players. Will go in towards goal. This time the goalie covers it up. He's quite far away out of his crease as well, isn't he?
I think that's the first I've seen him move all day.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. As we've got just over 15 seconds to go. We'll have probably one final face-off here, and it's going to be in the Coyotes' end.
Did they change keeper at some point? Because he has no neck guard on, the guy on the bench does.
Question number 36 is Stephen Armstrong. Indeed, they have, Michelle. Yeah, you're right.
I do apologise for saying that he hasn't moved much through the whole game.
Yeah, he is one of the players registered to play for both the Coyotes and the Predators, but today he is icing for the Predators, yes, for the Coyotes, and that will do it for the game. And that's a 10-3 win for the Predators, and we'll stick around for a minute and see what happens with the man of the match. But it's an interesting one. I mean, who would you pick out as a man of the match? It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean,
it's very difficult. Everyone's put in more or less the same performance across the whole team.
Yeah, I mean, for the Coyotes, I mean, obviously difficult for them because they lost, but I would say Justin Parry, number 71, he always looked to be going on the offensive. He always looked a good option on this left wing, and he was probably doing more than most to try and get his team's offense going. In terms
possibly
of
Dan Reese for the Coyotes, he's taken a hammering in this game. You've got to be putting in a good performance to be getting that much of a hit on.
That's a good point, actually, Michelle, because I seem to have been talking about him and mentioned him quite a bit, so he's clearly been active in the game, so that's a very good call. And I mean, for the Predators, I mean, you could go with a few, I guess, couldn't you? Difficult one to single one out. I think offensively we've had a few. Player coach, actually, Stu Davies, perhaps.
Yeah, he's had a very good game. Got
a couple of goals for his troubles as well, but he looked a bright spark going forward, certainly. So we'll just await having the post-game handshakes, as is tradition, and we'll just wait to see who is announced as the man of the match for both sides. But as we said, this is the first season that the Coyotes have competed at this level, and they'll draw a lot of experience from it, and next season will probably be even better.
It's a very promising start from them.
It is. And obviously for Predators, I mean, they didn't have the best of seasons last year, but this year they look to be one of the teams to beat, I would think.
They ended up very short bench last year. I mean, even watching the training sessions on Sunday night, there's probably twice as many players there than there has been on Sunday nights during training.
Yeah, they've certainly got enough for 3 forward lines now, which will help them, and they look good. I mean, they've got settled lines as well. I know in rec games so often they have a large squad, but a lot of players can't commit, so which is why you need the large squad, because players will be missing. But
exactly, you never know who's going to have work next week.
It looks a very settled team though, as just seeing who gets the man of the match. It's going to be number 77, Chris Graham. Actually, yeah, he's had a good game on the blue line, so fair play to him. So he's the Coyotes man of the match. And it's going to be Adam Winter, defenseman for the Predators. That's interesting. They've gone with a defenseman rather than a forward, considering they've rattled in 10 goals.
He did have that very good goal, though.
He did. That's a fair point. He did indeed. As we get the hip hip hooray sporting gesture from both teams. And that that will do it for the game, and a 10-4 win for the Predators. As do stick around though, we're hoping to grab word with one or two players and get you some post-game interviews. So yeah, while the game has ended, the broadcast will still be going, so do stick around, and we will be back with you in a few short minutes. Okay, joining me here is Coyotes Predators forward Jamie Penaluna. Jamie, how's it going?
Yeah, good, really good. I would have enjoyed playing the game, but enjoyed watching it from the sidelines. Good game, excellent.
Of course, you're serving a suspension at the minute, but that's up, so you'll be back for the next week's game against the Don Valley Vikings.
Yeah, that's right. I've got to play Don Valley, so they're obviously going to be a really tough team. I mean, it was a pretty tough game out there today, but it'll be even harder next week. So I'm looking forward to getting back in playing. You know.
Talking of today's game, how did you think it went in terms of a result? I know it was an impressive result, 10 goals to 4 in the end. What did you think the lads can take from that?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, it's just nice to get on a winning run now, because we had a spell where we'd lost a few games, so I think we've got about 4 under our belt now. I mean, for us, it's a bit of a grudge match playing against the Coyotes, so we really want to win. When you see the lads in the changing room before the game, really, really wanted this one. I thought it took a little bit of time to get going. Once we got the passing going, I thought we played really well. I thought it was the end of the second period. I thought the Coyotes' heads went down a little bit, and I thought we could really take advantage of that, and I thought we kicked on and done really well. Good game.
Obviously, it's a local derby of sorts as well, and there's players who are registered to play for both teams. Is that makes it a little bit more tricky to deal with that?
There's a little bit of banter there. Obviously, we've got there was Dan Rees, who's dual registered for both teams, so he was given a little warning before the game that he might get a couple of knocks here and there. But I think he got off quite lightly, to be fair. I thought he might have got really buckled, but no, there's a bit of banter there. But you know, it's all good fun at the end of the day. So yeah, it's good.
Yep. Obviously, great result, and as you said, 4 games in. 3 wins and 1 just a single defeat, which was at the home of Grimsby, the current champion. So really, there's a lot to be positive about this season, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Grimsby away game's always a tough one, because if you've seen the rink's really small. They know how to work the ice really well. You know, when you go on their ice, really, it's more suited for like 4-on-4. So it's really tight. So when we've got them here, you know, we put on a much better performance. We made use of the ice and we'll come away with a win. So that was really good, yeah.
Next week against Don Valley, expect that to be another tough one?
I think it'll be really tough. I mean, I haven't played Don Valley for a long time, but I think it was a tough game the last time they came up here. So I'd imagine they bring a couple of ex-league players up. So yeah, it'll be a really hard game. But I think if we play the way we have, we've been playing with a bit more intensity the last few games, a bit more speed, a bit more aggression. So if we can bring that in, you know, there's no reason why we can't get a result from them.
Yeah, and we will look forward to seeing that. That game is going to be next Sunday. 4:15 face-off?
Yeah, I think it's 4:15 face-off, so it'd be nice to see a few people at the game. Obviously, after the performance today, you know, it should be a really good game.
Okay, thanks very much, and good luck next week. Okay, joining me here is Coyotes defenseman, number 77, Chris Grimm, also man of the match. How did you think the game went for your team today?
Yeah, it was all right. I think it was better than we thought it was going to be fair. A lot of the players thought we were going to come out and get absolutely hammered because we're 10 or 11 players short today. But the players dug deep and they played really well.
Obviously, this is the first year that the Coyotes have competed in the Northern Rec Cup. So it was always going to be a learning curve. But having played possibly the best 2 teams in the league now, what's your thoughts on it so far?
Well, I think we're going to come up against them in a few weeks' time in the home game, and we're going to be a lot stronger. We're going to have the players that we're missing today, and I think it'll be a different game. I think we'll really compete.
On a personal point of view, how did you think your game went? Obviously, you got rewarded with a man of the match.
Yeah, I think it was all right. To be fair, I'm not really a defender as such. I just was covering. I was covering in defence today, so I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's even more impressive then if that's not your natural position and you're getting man of the match. So that speaks a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pleased with the performance.
Next week, there's a game next week, is there?
A couple of weeks, 13th of June, I think it is. Yeah.
And that's a return game with the Predators.
That's right. Yeah, home game for us. Yeah.
You're saying there's a lot of players back, so with the experience you've gained this week, that should stand you in good stead.
Definitely, yes. I mean, we're iced 9 players, outfield players tonight, and the next time we play them, I think we've got 18 players, so we should definitely be able to compete against that. It'll be a different story next time.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, and look forward to seeing your team in action again later in the season.
Right, thanks very much.